All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Tonight, we're going to be talking about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They are about a week removed from a very impressive road victory over the 13-win team, Minnesota, 20-17. Baker Mayfield, that defense, the offensive line, there was a lot to be excited about with this Tampa Bay team. They were completely undercovered by the media all summer, all offseason. And even if you just took a look at this team on paper, you'd realize, oh my goodness, this is a top 10 defense. They still have Mike Evans. They still have Chris Godwin. Rashad White's really intriguing for a running back. And their offensive line is healthy. It's revamped. And Baker Mayfield, chip on the shoulder, that first down, you heard the mic'd up, went viral on Twitter telling them, get weight, little boy, something like that. This is a special team. We've compared them all offseason to last year's Seattle Seahawks, where it's like, hold on, people think when Tom Brady retired that this Buccaneers team was just thrown in the towel. No. Baker Mayfield has the best weapons of his entire NFL career. Keep in mind, this is a guy who joined the 0-16 Browns team, put up like 7 wins, and the year after that takes him to the playoffs. Baker Mayfield has never been in a system that's fit him. He has never been on a team that has fit him, and he has never had, honestly, any type of reliable wide receiver or any type of reliable weapons offensively. This is the place to be. Tampa Bay, loose, lax, it's perfect. It quite literally is perfect. I know Tampa Bay didn't play perfect. That run game needs a little bit of a kick. 17 carries, 39 yards for Rashad White, but offensive line takes time, and it's going to open everything up for this Tampa Bay team. I want to talk about the trenches, but before we do, if you guys enjoy it, be sure to hit that like button, hit that sub button. I do post daily NFL content. If you want more Buccaneers videos, let me know down below. But if we could get this video to 500 likes, that would mean the absolute world to me. So in our last Buccaneers video, I got a comment that said, when Baker scrambled for that first down, very late in the game, got tackled around the neck, the Bucs sideline exploded. That was his moment, and they're now behind Baker. I fully agree. I fully agree. Like, Baker Mayfield gets clowned so much. Think back to like the headbutts in Cleveland, think to the headbutts in Carolina. I've never understood the bad rep that Baker Mayfield gets. This is a guy who puts every single thing on the line every time he steps out onto the field. He is a perfect leader. He is a great leader for your starting quarterback for this Bucs team that is severely disrespected and severely underrated. He's the guy. Baker Mayfield is the freaking guy. Now, the trenches for Tampa Bay is one of their weapons. It's one of their biggest weapons, and it's something that most people are overlooking. I mean, defensively, guys, like I said, this is a top 10 defense. I would not be surprised if Tampa Bay was a top 5 defense this upcoming season. New addition, Kalijah Cansey getting started right out of way in his rookie debut. Vita Vea, one of the most underrated players in the entire league. You got Logan Hall, you got Shoyinka, you've got Devin White, you've got Levante David, you've got Shaquille Barrett, Jamel Dean, Ryan Neal, Antoine Winfield Jr., Carlton Davis. I mean, this is one of the best defenses in the National Football League. And their defensive trenches did a phenomenal job against Minnesota in week 1, giving up just 2.4 yards per carry. They gave up 2.4 yards per carry. Alexander Mattison, 11 carries, 34 yards. Minnesota, it was a tie game at halftime. It's not like Minnesota was getting blown out. They were down 21-0 after the first half, and they had to start just airing the ball out. No. They rushed 17 times for only 41 yards for an average of 2.4 yards per carry. That Tampa Bay Buccaneers, not only their defense, but their defensive line is extremely talented. The offensive line, kind of a lot of, some new faces coming on in here. More importantly, they're healthy. It's a currently healthy offensive line, obviously outside the really tough loss of Ryan Jensen landing on the IR. If this O-line can stay healthy, and keep in mind, the offensive line is the longest positional group that takes time to get clicking. So second half, Tampa Bay is going to be a much more efficient. They're going to be a much better team. I know we're only 1 game in here, so not really trying to jump the gun, but I loved what I saw. They only gave up 1 sack. Baker Mayfield, he didn't have to do anything crazy. 21 of 34, 173 yards, 2 touchdowns. More importantly, 0 interceptions. If Baker Mayfield, and by the way, the dude gets clowned so much for his touchdown to interception ratio. Once again, we revert back to the sentiment that he's never had weapons, like pretty much ever. He's never had a good system around him. So many of Baker Mayfield's career interceptions are just simply not his fault. And I know it sounds a little crazy, especially when you start diving into the statistics. You're like, oof, this isn't great. It's not the case. Baker Mayfield is not, Brett Favre. Like, he's not just chucking it to chuck it. The dude is skilled. I mean, he was drafted in the first round, the first pick overall 5 years ago. Baker Mayfield's 28. He's in the prime. He's entering the prime of his career here. Tampa Bay could have their quarterback for the future. I mean, I seriously, like, the eye test, the chemistry, the energy that this Tampa Bay team, they just have a chip on their shoulder, and that's exactly what Baker Mayfield has had in his entire career. But your offensive line is obviously going to help out Baker Mayfield, but it's going to help out your running back room. We need to see Rachaad White get it going a lot more. He only had his longest run of the day on 17 carries for 39 yards, just 2.3 yards per carry, long as 6. Tampa Bay's longest run of the game was Rachaad White with a long as 6. That's going to change, but that also has to change. A running back is your quarterback's best friend in Tampa Bay week 2 against Chicago. Their lackluster defense, you cannot run the ball 33 times for only 73 yards, averaging just 2 yards per carry. That is simply not going to work. But at the end of the day, it's like I said, it's not like Tampa Bay was perfect. It's not like it was even pretty at all times. But they won. They got the job done. Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, the rookie Trey Palmer out of Nebraska, the dude freaking killed it in college. Cade Otton, an intriguing young tight end entering year 2, the 4th round pick last season. There's weapons offensively, and I have zero concerns with Tampa Bay's defense. Even with all the injuries that the Tampa Bay defense sustained last year, they were easily top 15. Even statistically, they were easily top 15. This defense is a Super Bowl defense. Yes, you heard that correctly. I'm not saying Tampa Bay is going to win the Super Bowl here, but you still have a Super Bowl defense. And I got to say, I know a lot of Bucs fans, and I know a lot of NFL fans would feel the exact same way. Tampa surprised a lot of people. They didn't really surprise us. I wasn't really necessarily anticipating a week 1 victory on the road against Minnesota, but this could easily be last year's Seattle, but better. Because what was Seattle's what stabbed them in the back last season in the playoffs? They were leading at halftime against San Francisco. Who's the defense? That's not a concern. That's not a worry for Tampa Bay. So the NFC South, yeah, it's certainly up for grabs, as we know. 10 plus wins. I mean, you really never know. That's it for tonight. Just kind of a little Buccaneers hype video for you heading into this weekend against Chicago. Hit that like button, hit that sub button. But guys, most importantly, how are you feeling about Tampa Bay as a whole? Give me a grade rating just with your confidence and your comfortability level with Tampa Bay. I'm going to give them a B+. I feel really good. But that's it for today. As always, hit that like button, hit that sub button. Have a great rest of your night, and we will see you guys next time.